You cannot be friends with people who are the misery loves company type of person, because if you're not miserable, you're not going to be company. Wow, okay, so we're gonna be talking about friendships. I've definitely talked about friendships on this channel before, but we're gonna get more in depth today because building and curating adult friendships is a very beautiful experience, and I want everybody to be able to experience the level of love and passion that goes behind having a beautiful friendship like I have with my friends. And I really want this video to be more specific for the women and men who struggle to make friends or struggle to trust people, because I was once that girl. I've definitely talked about this here on the channel before, and I've gotten in depth as to why I struggled with meeting girls and why I struggle connecting. And at almost 25 years old, I can officially say I'm a girl's girl. I love being surrounded with like-minded, beautiful, amazing women. And I'm sad that I didn't get to experience this level of friendship all throughout my life. But now that I have it, I will truly hold on tight to it. And I really wanted to get into how to make friends, how to look for good people, how to become the person that you need to be to have friends like that. And we can just kind of chit chat, rant, and get on with the subject, because this is a huge deal. Having amazing good friends can actually be more sustainable and long lasting in comparison to our actual relationships. Like platonic friendships last a lot longer sometimes than a lot of marriages, boyfriend and girlfriends, and all of that. And when you do create the perfect bond of you and another person, it can be lifelong, and it's really beautiful. And I really want to get into that today. And I want to change your mindset if you have a negative viewpoint on friendships, because you shouldn't. It's juvenile, it's ignorant, and it's just that you're not looking in the right places, and I want to help. So let's get into it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you guys like these videos, and let's just get into how to make friends, how to vet perfect friends for yourself in your adult life. I wanted to give a brief summary on what my friendships looked like growing up, because I did have a lot of friends growing up. It wasn't like I was the girl who had no friends. That was not me. I just didn't have quote unquote good friends or lifelong, long-lasting friendships. So initially, right off the bat in elementary school, I didn't have many real friends. A lot of the girls that were my friends were kind of also my bullies as well. And it took me years to really realize that, because I never considered myself a girl who was bullied. I think it's because I've never lacked confidence. I always was super sure of myself, and I never was super insecure. So when girls would like make fun of me, I'd always be like, wow, they're the weird ones and I'm the cool one. I don't know where this type of mindset came from, but I actually realized that a lot of the people that I was friendly with in elementary school were kind of bullying me, and it had a lot to do with my appearance. I looked different than majority of the people I went to school with. I went to school with mostly white people, not the vibe. Then I went to middle school, also became friends with a few bullies, people that didn't really like me, or they were my friend, but they also secretly didn't like me, which was a very interesting dynamic for me. So again, we're kind of building up those friendships that just are not real and not long lasting, and they give you a negative viewpoint on friendships. As I was entering high school, I had like a new best friend every single year. So my freshman year, I had a best friend. Things ended over a boy. You know, not that we were, you know, talking to the same guy, but essentially, you know, a lot of my friends, they would get boyfriends and then they would drop me as a friend. That was kind of like the theme throughout high school. And that was most of my friendships, why they ended when I was in high school. I just didn't have a lot of really sustainable, long-lasting friends. And the common theme that I had with my friendships was that I was always the one reaching out, the one contacting them, right? So I would naturally be the one to text first or ask to hang out. And I thought that because they were receiving it, that it was also reciprocated, but it wasn't. And I didn't realize, wow, like there was never really a time where I was asked and I was like thought of. And anytime that there was any type of reconciliation between me and a friend, it was because I was always the one to apologize first. And I hated that. I'm like, why am I always the one to apologize, even if I didn't do something wrong? And I just felt like it was because I was always like trying so hard to keep the friendship, because I really always have valued friendship. I've always wanted to have somebody close to me. I graduated high school. Me and my ex were together. Me and him became together my senior year of high school, and we were together. And I just had such a bad taste in my mouth for friends. I just did not experience good friendships. I tried maybe like having a friend one more time after high school. It didn't go well and I was done. I focused on my career. I said no, no, no to friends. Me and my ex were best friends. And that was my life for years. Like I'm talking 4 years, okay? Him and I would have like these in-depth conversations about like how I was kind of sad that I didn't have a girl to talk about the things that I was talking to him about. Like, what am I doing talking about girl problems with a man? Like, this is not the vibe for me. Like, I am truly a girl's girl at heart. I want to have that girl time. I want to have more conversations that feel cute and fun and flirty and private between me and another female. And I just could not understand like why it was so difficult for me to meet women that I wanted to vibe with. So essentially I focused on my career and I met people organically throughout my life after I built myself into the woman that I am today. Now I've had like a complete change of heart and my mindset has changed significantly since, you know, the time when I wasn't having any friends, and I've built a more sound and intelligent version of what friendships really need to look like. And I think a lot of the times when we are not in our most happiest form in our life, we're not in our best state of mind, building real friendships can be quite difficult because we are not going to attract anything positive if we are not positive ourselves. And I felt like for years, if I really reflect back, I was not positive about friendships. Like I was kind of like, nobody wants to be my friend. Well, that's fine. And I was just really like attitude driven. I wasn't a happy person. I was nasty. I was kind of bitchy. So let's talk about that. You're going to attract what you are. How am I supposed to have good friends? Have people who care about me, love me, are thinking of me, are like-minded like me, and yet here I am being a nasty, conniving bitch. Like I'm not a good person. I am not feeling my best. I hate my body, the way I look. I hate the way I sound. I hate my life. I don't like what's going on in my life. I hate my financial situation. Like there's just a million different things going on. And I'm not saying that people who go through hardships in life can't make friends, because that's not true. There was a time in my life, it was like between age like 19 and 21, where I just like wasn't vibing with myself. Like it was a very odd couple years for me, and I was just really discovering who I was and going through a lot of trauma healing and growing and maturing that was not necessary for me to have decent friends. Let's just say that. And for all of those who are always asking me like how to make good friends, or you keep attracting like negative people, this is the part of our lives where we need to be a little bit more self-aware. And I have learned that when I was in a very odd place in my life, I was attracting also very odd people. Even though I mean well, I'm gonna be a good friend, I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna care for you. Me overall, I was not super sound. I wasn't vetting proper people for myself. I was not attracting good human beings because I was not looking at the things that I should have been looking at. Like, you need to know when there's a snake in the grass so you don't get bit. And I was welcoming in people who I had no business welcoming in because of my lack of self-awareness. So for instance, I loved being friends with people with no couth. Essentially what that means is people who are just not well-mannered, they're not refined, they aren't sophisticated, they don't have good manners at all. And I would be friends with people who were giving off energy that was just very blah, not good. And the reason why I liked these people at the time was because I felt like they were super humble, came from humble beginnings, didn't have a lot growing up, and it felt very familiar to the life that I maybe had. So naturally I was drawn to these people. But I have to look within and say, Haley, yes, you are very humble and come from humble beginnings, but you do not have the same morals, values, and standards as these people. They don't have any couth. They don't hold themselves to a high standard. You do. So naturally, I would be in situations and friendships where they would constantly say the same fucking line to me. Oh, you think you're better than me, don't you? Or, oh, like, so you think that you just know so much, don't you? And it's like, no, babe, I just actually do. And I don't think I'm better than you. I just want to be better, period. And a lot of the times you will attract people who say things like that to you when you are constantly trying to be friends with people who you feel like need fixing, Why are we befriending people to fix? That is pathetic. We're not going to do that as adults. It's not necessary. We are nobody's parent. We are nobody's fixer, and we're not their therapist. It is important to attract people who bring you up, lift you up, and are like-minded individuals. If you are somebody who is super driven, you want to be friends with driven people because you don't want to always have to carry the weight of the friendship. And I also want to note that you don't have to be a bad person to attract bad people. That is not true at all. It's the self-awareness that we need to have. So essentially, I'm not a bad person. Was I attracting bad people at one point in my life? Absolutely. But the reason why was because, again, I was constantly trying to fix people. I didn't understand why people were so upset. Like I was like, oh, maybe like they're just misunderstood. No, usually what people show you is what you're gonna get. Come on, like if we're going to give ourselves this particular title, like we're gonna live up to it. So if somebody is living up to the title that they gave you, which is that they're a liar, that they are disrespectful, that they dislike you, they are going to live up to that role. Stop thinking that it's a disguise. It's not. It's a warning, and you have to take it for that. So after I learned my lesson of not being friends with people that were just not like me, I stopped looking for friends. I think that that's important. I never actually really looked for friends, but a lot of the times we become friends with people out of convenience. Oh, you're in my class, or oh, like we live on the same street, and it could be a lot of different things. We're more so my friends now, it's not necessarily a convenient friendship. We're just friends because we have similar interests. We love each other. We are very good people that love to just exchange really great conversations. We are constantly networking and bringing people up and introducing people to each other that can help one another. Like there's a million reasons why I have long-lasting friendships now. We're gonna get into it. I think the base to all really great friendships is, you know, having similar values and morals, right? Like naturally, we should be friends with people who have the same belief system as us when it comes to how to treat people, what is our motivation of life. Those are the things that we need to be gravitating towards. So my friends that I'm friends with now, we all do different things, for the exception of me and Aisha. We have the same job, but we all do different things and have our hands in different types of projects and ideas. But overall, the base to our friendship is that we are all like-minded individuals in the fact that we care deeply about the people that are in our life. We don't believe in heavy gossip between our friends. We love hard. We are very loyal people. We are passionate about the projects that we have. And that is like the base to all my friendships that we all have in common, is that these things are all running true for us. And I think it's really important. And it can seem really simple to find friends like this, or to think that this is, you know, something that's necessary, and it is necessary, but it's actually not easy to find like-minded individuals. A lot of people are disguising themselves as like-minded. They're mirroring your personality, and to look for this is just somebody who's always in agreement. Like if somebody is always like, oh, me too, oh, me too, oh, me too, you gotta look from within, because even though me and my friends have a lot of things in common, we have so many things that are different about us. Like we like different types of guys. We look for different things in people. We have different types of friends, like outside of each other. We dress differently. We don't copy each other's ideas and things like that. Like it is a genuine friendship just based off of the love for one another. And it's so beautiful. So definitely to look for a person who's like-minded, you want it to be natural. You don't want it to seem forced, and you'll be able to feel that energy, especially as you get older and you start to have more experience meeting fake people. You're going to know when somebody's being genuine with you or when somebody's being disingenuous, I promise. And I think it's really important to meet people who are not threatened by your passions, your endeavors, your dreams. None of my friends look at my life and go, oh, I wish I was her, I wish, because that would be very difficult for me to withstand that friendship, because I don't want anybody to not feel like they're on my level, regardless of financial reasons or anything of that matter, financial, success, education, it could be anything. We are all on the same level no matter what, and that is what's so important, and it's good to view it that way. My biggest thing is, let's just treat each other the same. So it's difficult to be friends with somebody who just genuinely doesn't want to see you win, and it's very important to point those things out and to meet people that are always lifting you up regardless of their own situation. Like when it's my time to shine, it's my time to shine. When it's Aisha's time to shine, it's Aisha's time to shine. When it's somebody else in my friend group, it's time to shine, it's their time to shine. And we all have equal shine time, okay? We are all the main character in our friendship. There's no background dancer, and we all just kind of step aside for each other and let the other person just shine for that day. And that is what's so crucial and important in a friendship, is to not think you're better than the other, or to think that your dreams are more important than the other, or to like have like a moment where you're looking at them like this on the side of your eye because they're, you know, doing well. That is very weird that you care. And something that I also had to learn the hard way is that not necessarily every person that treats you this way, that has an issue with your life, is a bad person, because they're not. They're just unhappy, and you have to be able to spot that. And unfortunately, they have to get cut, because you cannot be friends with people who are the misery loves company type of person, because if you're not miserable, you're not going to be company. You're just not. And you have to step aside and know when to walk away from situations like that, because it is not good or healthy or a good environment for you really at all to experience someone who is constantly always shitting on you and telling you that you don't deserve things, that you can't have things, or are always kind of like sneak dissing you from the side. Like, we don't need that. And again, you will be able to spot this person. Like, if you can't spot them, you need to definitely do a little bit more work and research, because I'm telling you, there's not a single person that I've met that has done this to me that I couldn't see it coming. Unfortunately, I always did. So you definitely want in your own life to not bond with people over like the victim narrative, negative, anything, or anything that revolves around like pity or feeling sorry for, because this is just going to create more and more negativity in your life, and you're not going to build a healthy, sustainable, good friendship. This is not a good way to start a friendship out. So both parties have to be positive people and have to bring something to the friendship that is worth talking about, is worth having and worth sustaining, which is why a lot of my friendships maybe didn't work in the past, because we weren't fully and totally happy with ourselves, and we had a lot going on, and it wasn't something that we could dig ourselves out of, because it's normal to go through seasons in our life, even in our friendships, where we're not our best. But if, as long as overall the kind of person that we are is a good person, a happy person, and a good friend, that is what's important, and we will usually get out of it, and our friends will usually understand. Okay, so let's talk about how to find friends, right? Because a lot of you guys asked, how do you find friends, Haley? So I'm gonna speak from experience, and also I'm gonna speak from what other people have told me, how they found their friends and things like that. So online is a great place. Even though I have a lot of friends from high school or people that are from my town, we actually interacted for the first time on the internet, which is crazy. So a lot of my friends were discovered through online. Aisha, my friend Shayna, my friend Brandon, we all connected via Instagram, and it's a great place to talk to people who are like-minded, who enjoy the same things as you, who love the same way you do, and you can kind of get the DMs going and start to really get to know each other that way before ever meeting. And it's a great way to see, like, okay, when they post on their stories, do I align with the things that they care about, that they like, that their hobbies are, like, are these ways for me to do that? So definitely start following people who you enjoy their content, who you think are going to be good friends to you. Obviously, people who are on your level. You can also meet people via Bumble. I've heard that you can find friends that way. And it's such a welcoming community because other people are on there to make friends. I mean, of course, in this world that we live in today, a lot of people want to strictly stick to being on the internet. And I believe heavily in building and curating friendships in real life. Like, I am an in-person kind of girl. I'm damn near almost a millennial, not quite a Gen Z. I mean, I am a Gen Z, but I am close to being a millennial. So to me, like, the phones, the computers, the not seeing each other in person type of thing is not my vibe. Like, I met a guy a couple weeks ago who I was really interested in, and he was interested in me, but he didn't want to see me in person. Now, granted, he was like 21, and I was like, okay, so this must be a Gen Z thing. We need to see people in person. Like, it's very important to build a healthy friendship and relationship in person. Now, I quickly want to talk about my friendship with Aisha, because this is a huge question that I get constantly on all my socials, because I post her constantly. So quick story time, our subscribers brought us together. We'll actually talk about this on the podcast, so make sure that you guys stay tuned for the Halaysha podcast coming soon. But we were brought together by our subscribers. We built our friendship via like DM and then phone call and then in person. And our friendship was not convenient at all. I mean, Aisha lives in another state, so she would come and travel to me like 3 hours, stay with me for a few days at a time, and we would just get to know each other that way. And we actually built our friendship really organically and beautifully offline for a while. And we just believe so much in like time and effort and putting in like those hours and those months and weeks and whatever to like really build something. Now our friendship is as strong as ever, and it's a really beautiful thing because I have so much respect for her as a person. I really truly look up to her as a human being. Like, she is such a smart and intelligent person. I've always dreamed of having a friend like her. And she was like one of the first friends that I ever made that like truly checked in on me and like was putting in the effort that I always felt like I was putting in all by myself in friendships that I had when I was growing up. So all the friendships that I told you about earlier, the ones where people were like not really checking in on me or just like kind of like leaving me high and dry and like making me do all the work, Aisha was doing a lot of that work. And I was like, wow, like it feels so good to have a friend do that. And I felt it naturally, like, wow, this is insane. Like, I've never had somebody care about me the way that she cares about me. And it feels so good. And again, our friendship is not convenient. Like, we have to put in the work. And when you are curating adult friendships, you need to be your own person. It's such a beautiful experience to have two people who are very much proud in their own self and become friends and let each other be themselves. Because when you're trying to change somebody, when you want somebody to mold into the perfect version of what you think that they should be, you want them to be needy or clingy or whatever, it's not gonna work out. You need to let your friends have their own life, have their own set of friends, have a boyfriend, do whatever, because that is what friendship is, especially in adult life. So I think a lot of the times we need to fix the qualities in ourselves that could be hindering us from meeting good people, and then having a friendship will be a great thing. So I think that by the time I met Aisha, I was already like a very healed and well put together person. I knew that I didn't need her. I wanted her in my life. And it felt really good because when you need somebody, it's just never really truly sustainable. And it breeds a lot of insecurities and unhappiness in a friendship when you do stuff like that to somebody, because it's a lot to ask somebody for, is the incessant need to have them all the time and have access to everything about them. And I just love the openness, the freeness that we have, and we really let each other be ourselves. Like, Aisha's more reserved and private, and I'm more dangerous and not private. And it works because we let each other be ourselves. A lot of people always make jokes when they see us, like, oh my God, you guys are so different, but you guys are like also very similar. That's literally the best way to describe us. Like, we are different but similar. I am the more devil side, she's the more angel side, and us together, it's just like beautiful. And I'm really happy to have her as a friend. And I have a lot of other friends that I've made along the way in life, and people that are even from my hometown that I'm really close with, who I just feel so blessed to know. And it's just such a beautiful experience to let everyone be themselves. And we come together. When we come together, it's just like a euphoric, beautiful moment that we get to share. So a couple things that I want to mention before the video's over is just like the kind of person that you want to become in order to have a good friend, and also a couple more places to meet people. So of course, you know, you can meet people in like-minded hobbies like the gym. I've met somebody at the gym recently who I became friends with. I've met people in my apartment complex. And also, your friends can vary in age. Like, don't only be friends with people who are like just like you. Like, you want to go outside of your box. I have a friend who's 50. Like, her and I get along really well. She reminds me so much of me, and it feels good. I have friends that are younger than me. Like, it's really nice to have variety, and it's also nice to have different sections for friends, right? So we have our best friends, right? Those are the people we tell everything to. Then we have our friends where we're pretty close with them. They just don't know everything about us. Then we have our acquaintances, which are people that we love to get dinner with, we love to get drinks with, but we don't necessarily share every iota of a detail with them, and that's okay. And it's nice to have different types of friends. You don't need to have everybody be in your inner circle. It's nice to have variety. It relieves a lot of that pressure of having somebody be your best friend. Like, not everybody's gonna be your best friend. Like, that's not normal if everyone's your best friend. The kind of person that you wanna become, you wanna be patient. You need patience to have a friendship. You need patience. You need to be secure in who you are, because if somebody else's life means the way that they do things affects you so greatly that it's going to just throw off everything for you, you are not a healed person. You are not ready to step into a relationship with somebody. And yes, a friendship is a relationship. Don't forget it. Not only be secure with yourself, but be secure in your life, where if you go a few days without speaking to this person, it's not going to throw off your whole life. You don't need to speak to your friends every day in order to know that they're your friends. That is not adulting. We need to let our friends have their own life. Sometimes they want to sleep all day and they don't want to speak to us, or maybe they're with their family, or maybe they're with another friend, or they're with their boyfriend. It's okay to not talk every day. That is normal. We don't need to do that. It doesn't change the fact that we're good friends. You want to let the people be who they are. It's important. You want to let them learn from their own mistakes. You don't need to always overstep and be the parent. It's not your job to be somebody's parent. It's nice to be there for them, be an ear to listen to them and their problems, and guide them if they ask for it. Don't give too much unsolicited advice. I'm not saying that, you know, there's like rules in friendship, but there kind of is, because there's rules in life and we all follow them. And naturally in friendships, we don't want to do or say anything that would get our friend to like feel like they're unsafe in our presence. And I've even struggled with this in my own journey of friendship, that there was times where I said too much and I made my friends feel like I was stifling them, and that I was not listening to them, and they felt like they couldn't tell me things. They were afraid I was going to do something or say something that they didn't like. So I definitely think that being patient with your friends and letting them be who they are is so crucial and important. And it's just nice to just be there for them, especially if you love and care about them. And in life, the best thing that I could tell somebody is like, let people learn from their own mistakes. If it's not like super deep, super drastic, it's okay that if you've already went through something and they're going through it right now, you don't need to like tell them to do it exactly how you did it. Like, it's nice to just learn lessons as you go in life, just as same as you did with your own life. So that goes for friendships, relationships, and everything above that. I hope this video helped you guys in growing as a person. I think that the biggest takeaway from this experience is to just be a well-rounded person, somebody who can handle and withstand a friendship that is lifelong, and that you're ready for it, because you do have to be ready for it. It's something that it doesn't just happen. And I think that a lot of times God doesn't hand us anything that we're not ready for. So maybe you haven't met your perfect friend because you weren't ready for it. But when you are, you're going to have that person. And I have a few. I'm very fortunate. I'm very lucky. And I know that you guys can be as well. And I think that this should help change your perspective on friendships, and that you shouldn't be so scared to meet people. Vet people properly, look for the qualities that are necessary, and try to be aware of the things that you naturally gravitated towards originally that were not healthy or good for you, and they were super toxic, and they didn't end up becoming a good friend to you at all. So these are things to like do, because we don't want to keep making the same mistake over and over again. I hope this video helped. Let me know down below any other comments, concerns, or ideas about this video that you guys want to share. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah. Bye guys.